Sit down, Zumock.
Sit down, Zumock.
I've got at least one pair of good shoes in the back of the closet somewhere.
I'm an American. I am. I come from a family with a proud, strong American tradition. My grandfather served in World War II. My dad served in Vietnam. And I served at Applebee's, so... Bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit.
Sit down, Zumock.
Hit me!
Sit down, Zumock.
What's up, ballers? It's the Z-Man, coming live and direct from Chicago, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois. That's not even a song. For some reason, I felt like I had to sing it, and I don't know what inspired me. I don't know where that came from, but I like to call it Chicago, Illinois. I'm doing a little pit stop here in the city. I love Chicago. Big fan of Chicago. Big fan of the comedy scene. I worked out a radio gig here. Would love to live in Chicago. Winters are brutal. Grew up a closeted Cubs fan. I know. I was an Indians fan first. I was rooting for the Indians in the World Series, so calm down. I loved Mark Grace. And by the way, the Cubs were on TV more than the Indians when I was growing up. I'd come home from school. They were on WGN. WGN aired everywhere, so I just liked them because they were on. I'd watch the Bozo Show in the morning with the Grand Prize Game and Cookie the Clown. And I'd come home from school, I would VCR tape record the games, and I'd watch afternoon games with my man Mark Grace, my man Ryan Sandberg, my man Andre Dawson, my man Mike Bielecki, my man Damon Berryhill, Luis Salazar, Sean Dunston. Don't question me, bitch. Don't even question my old school baseball knowledge. Oh, shit. Look at this. We got a surprise calling in. Hey, Sean. Sean O'Brien.
Hey, what's up, man?
You're on my podcast right now.
Get the fuck out, man. What are the odds of that?
I'm doing a solo podcast, and you call in. I'm like, guess what? I just got myself a guest.
That's right, man. And I'm a return guy. Yeah, I'm a return man because I already have my episode. So people should at least go back and listen to what we're talking about.
Sean O'Brien's a great comic out of St. Louis, often on the road with Greg Warren, Nikki Glazer. He's the best.
I am the best, man. I try. You're good too, man. What are you talking about today, man? What's on your mind out there?
Actually, you could probably weigh in on this because I think you actually have met him, but I'm talking about the Louie. Did you hear Louie C.K. performed his first show in 9 months at the Cellar on Sunday?
Yeah, I just saw it online. Someone had some shit about it. Yeah, I just saw it.
So I'm currently in a fight with some Twitter trolls because I said, I'm welcoming him back, man. I mean, the guy apologized. My opinion, he was creepy. He had his bad game. He fucked up. Lost a lot. Got his movie shelved. And I'm like, let the guy do stand-up. What's your opinion?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's such a fucking slippery slope because anything I say, no matter what, a fucking third of the audience will be like, fuck him, no matter which way I go on this. So, I mean, personally, man, I try and be a reasonable guy, and I think I try and look at it like punishment fit crime. And I'm like, certainly what he did was gross and out of bounds, and I'm not defending it.
Right.
But I would say that if you want to pull circumstances, there's a lot worse. Like, for example, I think you and I can both agree, Bill Cosby should probably never go on stage ever again.
Absolutely. He should be convicted in the court of law.
Fucking garbage pail. And what he did is just, I mean, it's disgusting. Now, I'm certainly not saying what C.K. did was lovely. And again, this is where some people would fucking disagree. I think by comparison, it isn't as gross. I don't. I think it's bad, but I think there's worse. So I don't know if a guy should be fucking banned from the game, so to speak, because of those events. Also, I mean, flip side, I wasn't there. I weren't those girls. He did admit to it. He did apologize. But I also know you live in a fucking culture now where, for certain people, that's not good enough, and now I'm a fucking part of the problem or something because I say that, oh, she should be able to go up. And by the way, I usually am a guy who will fucking take the end of, like, fuck you. If you do something like that, you're out. But it's like, man, every circumstance is different, and I don't know. I think it'd be a little harsh to say he's banned forever. But I'm sure someone will listen to this and say I'm a piece of shit for thinking that.
It's a lose-lose situation. You can't voice your opinion.
I don't like the Me Too movement, or I don't have any empathy for females who've struggled. Again, and maybe I'm lucky because I'm a fucking white heterosexual male, so maybe I got a good life. Like, I don't know, and maybe that's why he's getting flack because he tried to use power back in 2002. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, but again, it's just a tough one to really like have a hard opinion on without pissing off so many people. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I have the same thoughts you do. I kind of stand with pretty much 99% of what you just said. My problem is that you look with the whole Me Too movement and this New York Times article, which is essentially a hit piece. It was written by 3 women, and I think it was part of the time where everybody was going after. It was almost like a trend. It was almost like the ice bucket challenge.
Right? Yeah. Just kind of snowball effect there.
So people were getting thrown in classes like with pedophiles and convicted rapists. And I'm like, no, they were blurring the line so much. With what Louie was doing was gross, but at the same time, like, he never touched these women. And from what I hear, they were laughing. I think he misread the room a lot. I think he had no game.
Right? Yeah, man. I mean, and that's that kind of what I was just saying, man. Like, or what you just said, man. Like, you can't throw someone like that in the same group as a guy, for example, who fuck kids. Like, yeah, that you should have your fucking head cut off, and you don't have a right to have a pulse anymore if you fuck kids, But again, it's just not me saying what the CK thing was right. I'm certainly not saying I'm not even saying it's not a big deal. I just don't know if it's a fucking full throttle punishment of like, that's it, fucking Pete Rose, I'm gone. No coming back ever. It's like, I don't know. I mean, because then it's just like, well, then is there ever a gray area? I mean, if I go up to a girl and I pat her on the shoulder and then she tells me, hey, Sean O'Brien touched me in a weird way, and I'm like, well, I didn't mean to. Now, I'm not comparing that to a CK thing. I'm just saying, and how low down does it go where it's like, then you got to wheel out a platform and say you're sorry and be like, oh, fuck, I didn't even know. I thought I was doing something innocuous. I didn't know I was even doing anything fucking foul there. So, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't nobody was in the room except for those girls and him. Who knows? I don't know how circumstances played out. I know that in my life, I've done some shit that would be like, in hindsight, probably shouldn't have done that, but nobody's probably running to a fucking media outlet because they're like, this guy has about 64 Twitter followers.
And that's my point. There's no opportunity there with you. And exactly.
Well, that's it, man. It's like, what are you going to take away?
So
my fucking second-rate feature gigs? I mean, it's like, it doesn't matter, I mean, it'd almost be a blessing because then I could get a real job and make normal money, It's not like fucking, there's anything to take. So who knows, man? And that's maybe what happened. Maybe that's why it came out 15 years later or whatever.
Well, here's a situation, and I'm just being honest. I remember I was hooking up with a girl, and she didn't want to sleep with me. We were in a hotel, so I asked her if I could jerk off, and she goes, whatever. So I did.
Right.
If she would have said no, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I know, man. See, like right there, it's like, how could that be a flag then? I mean, if you got a green light. So
now, if I was a famous comedian and during that, she could have easily have flipped the script and went to a newspaper and said, I did the same thing. But there was nothing to gain from that. Because I know athletes and I know women who hook up with athletes, and these athletes, none of them got Me Too'd, and they should. They did some horrible things. I'm not going to name names.
Sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And that's the thing. There is somewhat of a little bit of a double standard where there's certain people who can just get away with anything. That's way, in my opinion, more offensive than the CK shit. But whether it just doesn't get brought to attention or nobody cares or it gets dismissed and then, people walk around and it's like, their jobs are fine. So, I don't know. I think it'd be a little harsh to say the guy can never go on the stage again, but I don't know. I wasn't there, and it's always hard to really know what the right thing is to say. I'm just trying to be reasonable, and
if you go back
I'm unreasonable by that, then I'll gladly talk to someone, and they can tell me why I'm wrong, and sure. Then I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded, and I'll hear thoughts and opinions, but I just don't know if the solution is throwing him out of the game for the rest of his life.
Right, yeah. I mean, he's
because, again, Cosby, done for life. He should be done for life, and I think that would be...
And even Weinstein. Weinstein was a creep.
Of course. I mean, yeah, and again, I don't know. I know what I know through fucking media and TV and fucking Twitters and all that shit, but, yeah, from the sounds of it, that guy was a fucking garbage pail. So he's fucking out. So, right, that guy doesn't have a right to fucking do anything in the business, or really, fuck it, let him rap on himself forever. And I'm fine with that. Good, fuck.
And the one thing I think about Louie is, if you listen to past interviews and stuff, he's always been 100% truthful about his masturbation problem. He talked about it on talk shows. He talks about it on stage.
Sure.
He was just completely honest. And in his apologize. I just don't know. In the court of public opinion, like you said, it's a slippery slope. But at the same time, the guy should be able to get on a comedy stage. He's not working for iHeartMedia or Warner Brothers right now.
Right. I agree. Well, and that's just the culture living. I can't even fucking say, I could say that McCain was a war hero, and then someone will come up and be like, hey, that guy was a piece of shit, blah, 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 and then get in your face about that. I was like, well, I just did it. I thought I was being fucking a good person. It's like anything you say now where there's any little sway, it's like you're either fucking in or out and have a hard opinion. Like, I noticed that all week with McCain, when he passed. Like, a lot of people do these nice tributes and say a nice thing, and every once in a while you'd be like, no, he was a fucking garbage pail, blah, 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 and say all this shit about him. And I'm like, was this? But then you'd have someone else saying the exact opposite. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe the truth just lies in the middle. That's the problem, is that half the people coming to the table with this information don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. You get conflicting reports, so it's torn. It's torn to even get something that's credible and reliable information. And I'll be honest, I'm a part of a problem, because I'll hear things second and third hand, and I'll fucking say, hey, blah, 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 I heard's an asshole. And it's like, well, or is he? Or was he just having a bad day for one guy, and then he's good to a lot of other people? I mean, I've been guilty of it. So I don't know. It's almost such a climate now where it's almost like people will call this, you can't, again, there's no right answer, Chad. That's what I'm saying. I could say no comment, and they'll be like, fucking asshole, won't stand up for his beliefs, he's a piece. You can't win. You can't win. So you say no comment, you're fucked. If you defend them, you're kind of fucked. And if you go against them, you're kind of fucked. There's really no answer where you can kind of get the masses to be like, oh, okay, that's reasonable. And that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm just trying to get people to fucking like me and be a good person, so. But that's the world we live in, right?
Well, I'm fighting with a bunch of white LA open micers on Twitter who are crucifying Louie. And the thing that I'm offended most about, they're calling themselves comedians. This guy, Ton Ryman. I did a little Google search. There's not one evidence of stand-up comedy online. So take comedian off your profile. And they're all trashing me. And I know what they're doing. They're piling on. They're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to get a retweet. Right. The hypocrisy with a lot of these people, that's what bothers me. I always analyze the situation, and I always take the unpopular opinion because I know there's more to it.
Sure. No, dude, 100%. Well, that's another thing that kind of gets me sick about fucking social media. And if there's one good thing I'd say about myself is that I just don't run my mouth in there. It's just a gutless, fucking spineless move to hide behind your little fucking cell phone and your little lurky apartment or whatever and run your fucking mouth and troll people. It's the easiest, just fucking low-life move. And comedy is even the worst because it's just so goddamn subjective and anything. I don't know, man. I mean, fucking that guy Drew Michael on HBO. I don't know. I didn't mind it. I've heard that was the worst thing ever up until it was the greatest thing ever.
Who was
so
this?
what do you say? What do you say?
Who was
Although
this?
I didn't mind it, but it was definitely different from a traditional stand-up show.
Who?
You know what I'm talking about?
Who?
That guy, his name's Drew Michael. He had an HBO thing that was released on Saturday.
Oh, I know. I met that guy. He's out of Chicago.
And you know what? I didn't mind it. It was definitely, there was no audience, and it was real like this fucking meta, like, he's talking to his girlfriend through FaceTime, and like against, it's just this whole different thing. And it was weird to watch because there's no audience and stuff. But I was like, man, I see what the guy's saying, and I didn't mind it. But then I went online and I saw a lot of shitty comments. I saw a lot of good ones, and then it's just people going back and forth of, you fucking like that, and you fucking hate that, and it's just like, god damn, man, fine, can't just let someone like what they like. These cops now, they do that karaoke thing. Have you seen this? Where
No.
like police departments locally will like lip sync battle. Have you heard this? Like a
No.
lot. This has been going on for a few months with like local police departments all over the country. So one of them here in St. Louis did it. And they did, oh, you love this, man. Actually, I can't believe it's done it. They did the Beastie Boys Sabotage.
Oh, cool.
The amount of comments of just fucking stuck-up, snotty, super right-wing white people of, why would you pick that? Fucking terrible. Nobody could have been like, that's because they have a right to. That's their fucking song they wanted to pick. It's not your fucking choice. So why, like, someone's like, love the act out, love the dancing, but the song sucked, so no dice. Like that. See, that's the problem right there, Chad. That's the problem. It's you fine. You have a right to say that, but why? What is the fucking point? That's what's been fine. You know what? Do your own goddamn lip sync thing and pick your own fucking song, and then problem solved. I love you too. I don't fucking care that they gave away a free CD. I don't care about your whining and your privacy about it. I hope they give you another fucking 30 just to have you crying. I'm gonna love them forever. If you don't like them, that's fine. Just stop fucking belly aching at me for fucking enjoying something that just because you're not a part of it. Sorry, man. I was just calling to say hi, and then this went down a weird road, but hopefully it's good, right?
No, it's great. It's great. I'm putting it out.
I was
Like,
just checking in, so.
I'm literally putting it out today, so I was like, oh,
Nice,
I'm
man.
late on a podcast, and this whole Louie thing blew up. I'm like, I'm going to just talk about that.
Sure. No, I get it, man.
Were you in Omaha this week with Mark Norman?
No, this weekend I go up.
Oh, this weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
Okay.
Opening with Mark Norman.
Hey, I was texting with him yesterday. He's
Yeah.
He'll
He's
have
great.
a good time.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun, man. So I'm looking forward to that, and then who knows what's after that? I don't know. Then you know how it is, man. Just fucking keep on.
Anything else you want to plug, Sean?
I would say follow me on Twitter, but you're not going to see shit because I don't fucking care. I don't run my mouth. I have nothing interesting to say. I'm not a good joke writer, which I know is odd saying that I'm a comedian. Oh, you know what? I'll stand by this one. I'll do this one. I like my Instagram because I got a dog, and so I just do videos of me and my dog, and I just fuck with them, and people seem to, I don't know, be on board. And that's just Sean O'Brien Comedy.
Okay.
So I'll even do a video, and I'll talk about your podcast, and like I'll double up in this and see if I can get people going and get outrage. Someone will be mad. Fucking you too sucks. That's what.
Well, hey, Sean, I know you just called to say hi, but I appreciate you weighing in on that subject, and I will give you a call. Are you driving to Omaha tomorrow?
Driving Thursday morning, wheels up at 8 a.m.
Okay, I'll be in the car too, so I'll call you then because I'm going to Comedy on State.
Nice, man. Let's book it. Yeah, let's rekindle there. It'll be good.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for calling into the podcast.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon, man.
There's Sean O'Brien, everybody. Yes, good friend Sean. If you can go back to listen to a past episode with Sean. I think. Well, I've done a couple. I did one with me and Bert Kreischer. We did a little mini tour, and then I just did a solo with him. So Sean's a great comic that works with Nikki Glazer and Greg Warren. Check him out. I stand by him. Before we get back into the Louie thing, I gotta take a commercial break here. I want to, first of all, I want to give a shout out to comedian, New York comic, Mike Vecchione. I'm going to put the link in the description here. He has a new album out called The Worst Kind of Thoughtful, where you can get music across the board. And I'm not just saying this. This is, he didn't ask me to say this. He didn't ask for anything. I'm just saying, as a comedy fan, a guy who I love stand-up comedy like through audio. I've always been an audio guy. I remember listening to cassettes of Eddie Murphy, Raw, and cassettes of Carlin, cassettes of Dice, then buying CDs of comedy. Skanks for the Memories I bought on CD. I wore the shit out of it. One of my favorite comedians. So I like the audio component. I know people watch Netflix, but I like being on a treadmill listening to stand-up. I or just riding my bike or going for a walk. And I cannot recommend highly enough, and this is honest to God, I would not steer you in the wrong direction. If you love stand-up comedy, this is the comedian you should know about, Mike VECCHIONE. His new album, The Worst Kind of Thoughtful, is brilliant joke writing top to bottom. It's a great comedy album. I listened to it 3 times already. I laughed my ass off. I texted it to friends. I texted it to Bert Kreischer, and I was like, Bert, you got to listen to this. It could be just as good as the Skanks for the Memories. And he's just like, great album, man. This is awesome. He texted to Tom Segura. So, dude, I'm not steering in the wrong direction. Go to iTunes. Just download it. Buy it. I know people stream. I mean, you can stream if it, we still get a little bit. But if you want to support a comic, definitely buy that. You'll really enjoy it. In fact, this is how much I enjoyed it. I recorded a special / album this summer at Coda in Tremont. For everyone that came out, thank you. This album was so good, I'm scrapping what I did at Coda. I mean, I might release little different sections, but I'm almost embarrassed for what I did compared to what he did. And he's on another level. He's been doing it longer, but at the same time, I'm like, you got to be happy about your work, and Mike VECCHIONE should be happy about his work. So pick that up. Also, I also want to plug the Patreon, everybody. I know I slowed down on the Patreon there. I'm working. I'm getting. In fact, this week, since I've been late on an episode, I'm going to put up 2 this week, 2 podcasts, and I'm going to get one on the Patreon. Go over to patreon.com/sitdownzumock, and you can sign up and be part of exclusive deals, access only. You get free shit, tickets to shows, additional content. I call it the $3 Gunner Club, where you get an additional episode, behind-the-scenes videos, stuff I don't put up on my Instagram, my YouTube, just stuff for you, personal stuff. It also supports the podcast because I've said it before, I'm a one-man operation. I'm trying to make it bigger. I want to add a video component. I want to get better equipment. I'd love to get a co-host and a producer, but it's a lot of work. So if you could support me any way you can, there's the $3 Gunner Club. You got the $10 Microphone Fiend status. You got the $10 tier. I call it the Has-Been Baller status. You get comp tickets for shows with 2 people, meet and greet, personal shout-out on the podcast, Twitter, name and my credits for my next album. You also get the $50 King of Stupid podcast, T-shirt, bracelet, copies of my albums. And at $100, you can become a sponsor of the Sit Down Zumock podcast. And my man, Kevin Cernair, over at State Farm Insurance, is a sponsor. So let's give Kevin a shout out if you live in the Ohio area, anywhere in Ohio. I'm talking, I don't have to name. Google Ohio and look at cities. And if you're in one of them, Kevin can be your insurance agent. He can make life so much better for you. Like I've talked about my car wreck in St. Louis. In fact, if you go back to the Sean O'Brien podcast, that's when I was in the car wreck. And I was trapped in St. Louis, and I was staying at his place. I was there for 3 weeks. Had a horrible, horrible situation with Dyko. And I reached out to Kevin blindly, and he gave me some advice, and God damn it, it worked. I wish I had an insurance agent. Right now I'm all tied up with Safe Auto, but give Kevin a call, 330-877-2323, kevincernier.com. I'll put the link in the description. If you're on the fence about auto insurance, you need a quote, you want to leave Geico like I did, those fucking scumbags, you hit up Kevin. You with me on this? You with me? And if you can't do any of that, go over to iTunes, leave me a 5-star review, leave a review. I think it helps with the algorithms. And subscribe to my podcast. You can listen to my podcast on my YouTube page too, Adventures in Argyle, youtube.com/Adventures in Argyle. You can listen to the podcast there. You can listen to it on Spotify. I got albums online, Reckless Operation, Adventures in Argyle. If you're on Pandora, make a station. Sign up for the Spotify. I know it's a lot to do, but it supports everything I'm doing, and I do appreciate when you guys reach out. Like, for example, Steve, I can't pronounce your last name. I believe it's Stoddard. Okay, well, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, that's part of the game. I'm a general studies major from Kent State University. 7-year degree, 2.4 GPA. Spelling, not my strong suit. Thank you, emojis. You saved my life. But Kevin, what the fuck? Anyways, sorry, I'm a little distracted. He basically wrote in and said, hey, thank you for the podcast. You make my days go by. You're part of the stand-up rotation, or the stand-up podcast rotation. I listen to Bert Kreischer. I listen to Tom Segura. I listen to Kevin Brennan. I listen to Jim Florentine, Mark Norman, and I listen to you. I'm glad I can make that mix. Those are some great podcasts. Subscribe to all those. That's my rotation, too. So he just wanted to thank me. So thank you. Thank you back. Thank you for supporting me. What was that? Ugh. That was a horrible, horrible, horrible laugh. All right, let's get back to the Louie thing real quick, and I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to have another podcast at the end of the week because I want to make up for it. So hit up the Patreon, everybody. So, like Sean was saying, it's a lose-lose situation. No matter what side you stand on, you're going to get criticism from both. It's easy to pile on Louie. It is so easy to be part of that pile on and take that opinion and that approach. And I'm looking at this Twitter feed of these trolls I was fighting on. They're all like LA open micers that call themselves comedians, but they have no video of them doing stand-up comedy on stage. They're all white, lame males. And they're looking for the retweet, man. That's what they're doing it for. They're looking for the retweet. And I understand me defending Louie and coming out and saying that's not popular. I know I'm going to get backlash. I know I have some comic friends that are females or like think I'm a piece of shit, I'm a pig. You know, I don't know if they'll say it to me, but they might be thinking about it. They might be gossiping about it, but I don't care. I see hypocrisy. I see gang mentalities, lynch mobs, hatchet pieces. I see people trying to make opportunity, and I'm really against all of that. Of course, I want to be loved. I want to be liked, and I want to be, what do you call it? I want to be the popular opinion, but I'm not going to sacrifice what I really believe in for the popular opinion. I'm gonna often say things that doesn't go with helping my career. Like me coming out and defending Louie is not helping my career. Like it's not doing anything. In fact, there might be some comics that want to distance themselves from me for sticking up for a guy who, quote unquote, allegedly. I mean, no, I guess he admitted to it. I guess you can't say allege. I mean, he did write that piece in the New York Times. He basically said and responded, these stories are true. He released a statement. He says, I want to address the stories told to the New York Times by these 5 women named Abby, Rebecca, Dana, Julia, who felt able to name themselves and one who did not. These stories are all true. At the time, I said to myself, what I did was okay because I never showed a woman my dick without asking first. To his defense, I've done the same. I have. I know a million comics, not just comics, friends, scumbag friends. Dude, I got stories of friends in college that'll blow your mind. But here's the thing. When the girl says no, I'm like, all right. Girl doesn't want to have sex with me? Okay, we're cool. I don't keep pushing it. You know, I might kiss the neck a little bit more or do a little something else, but if they're like, we're shutting this down, I'm like, I'm out. These days, zero resistance. Because if I get something going with my career, I don't want anything coming back to bite me in the ass. So if a girl just says no, I will jump. Not only will I stop kissing you, I will jump in my car and drive away without saying a word. That's where I'm at. Especially if I have something going on. But what I've learned later in life, too late, is that when you have power over another person, asking them to look at your dick isn't a question. It's a predicament for them. The power I have over these women is they admire me. it's irresponsible power. I have been remorseful about my actions. I've tried to learn from them and run from them. Now I'm aware of the extent, the impact of my actions. Listen, that's a remorseful guy right there, dude. He could have easily denied. I know there's a couple people during the Me Too movement that denied. They're like, nah, absolutely not true. And a lot of it could be. There could be people trying to gain some opportunity, like the Chris Hardwick situation of the girl who wrote, his ex-girlfriend, who wrote, not even for a publication, wrote the thing in a Medium blog, and he got put in timeout for a minute. But Louie, say what you want about him, he's been honest about everything, and he's honest, and it sounds remorseful in his apology. You know, he learned from it. He didn't realize that these women were traumatized, and pardon me, I question if maybe, let's say two of these 5 women were traumatized. I question a couple of them. And that's just my opinion. Because here's the hypocrisy. I know a lot of women who have done some awful, sketchy things to get an advancement of power. There are women who will purposely try to get pregnant by an NBA athlete so they can collect a check for the rest of their lives. Or say they hooked up with, and I'm not saying like Michael Jordan. They're out there. I know 2 of them. So it's a slippery slope, man. It's definitely, it's good for conversation. And no matter what side you're on, you should be able to have a conversation about it. And these days, I mean, God forbid you just have an opinion. So we'll see what happens with Louie C.K. Obviously, I have my own problems. I mean, I'm not on the public eye like that. I'm just saying we have our own cross to bear, and we have our own lives to live. But Louie makes an interesting point. Or not Louie. The Louie C.K. situation is an interesting situation. I know comedian actor Michael Ian Blackett. He's trending right now because he's quoted by saying, "I will take the heat for this, but people have to be allowed to serve their time and move on with their lives. I don't know if it's been long enough or if his career will cover or people will have him back, but I'm happy to see him try." Absolutely. Dude, good for Michael Ian Black for coming out and saying that. It's because it's not, he's going to get a lot of, like he said, he's going to get a lot of backlash from that. And that's a guy with some empathy, and he sees the situation from both sides. Let the guy try. He's a comedian. He's not perfect. We are broken toys. I'm not saying we should go out and break the law, but, you know, I've had my run-ins with the law. I've done stupid shit that I regret, and the difference is I learn from those mistakes. I'm not gonna be drunk in a Kohl's and walk out with a blender ever again. That's not gonna happen. I'm not going to. What else have I done? Who knows? But you just learn from your mistakes. You're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. In retrospect, not a good idea. And I think that's the situation right now with Louie C.K. He's like, probably wasn't a good idea. Now, if Louie does that again, all right, fuck him. We gave him a chance. Fuck you. You're done. Anyways, I just wanted to weigh in on this. I know it's a hot button topic. I've been fighting with trolls all day, and I've talked to some comedians through text, and I just was like, you know what? I'm going to do a podcast about it. I'm going to put it out there for my people. And you can weigh in on it. Email me, chadzumock3@gmail.com. You can tweet me at chadzumock, Instagram, all that stuff. You know where to find the Z-Man. So let's get some dates, and we'll get going. I'm at the Comedy on State all this weekend. I think I'm going to try to record an album. I've been talking with the GM there because the Mike Vecchione album fucked me up, so I'm going to try to record another one, spend more money, right? Sign up for the Patreon so I can record another album. I'm there Thursday the 30th through September 2nd. This is Labor Day weekend, everybody. I'm going to be at the Atlanta Punchline the 13th through the 16th. Buffalo Helium 20th through the 22nd. I got a one-nighter in Cleveland. I got Houston coming up. I think I'm moving my DC show the Draft House show. I don't know. Go to chadzumock.com, guys. All right, guys. That's it. Thanks for listening. That's a wrap.
The tone with a sensitive poem, transmitted with the voice like a ooze-a-phone. We be beaming these rounds to the satellite with the human beatbox for the people's delight. I run the three-legged race in a potato sack and put a whole potato salad right down your back. I get mad respect at the old folks' home. Your mama's grandpapa won't leave me alone.
Crank up the bass and redline the gang. You're like the tiny bone man spinning down the drain. Cause I'm a cyborg, created the MC. We gonna change our name to the Disco 3. Stick up, ha ha ha, stick up. Stick up, ha ha ha, stick up. Stick up, ha ha ha, stick up. Stick up, ha ha ha, stick up.
Update my firmware and I'm good to go. I like Danger Will Robinson, coming down the block and you're like, woo, Bionic Eye with the I got my gear on like the ear-ons, the human switchboard and interferons. We jam on it like nucleus. I'm gold on the roll like a nucleus.
Androids dream of electric sheep. Well, either way you're gonna sow just what you reap. Cause I'm a replicant, not a skin job. Yo, Hal, open up the freaking doors through the pod. Stick up, ha ha ha, stick up. 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 Stick up, ha ha ha, stick up.
Smooth like butter, pure like ghee. Let me spit up on the mic with the do-re-mi. My doll's named Sam, not Fifi. I'm profiling a boo lingerie.
Robotron, Gorfin, Gallagher. I got the sexy Dig Dug calendar. Mix master scratching like he's got lice or crabs. Hey yo, that ain't nice. Like One-Eyed Jacks and Suicide Kings. You born wireless while I bring my Uncle Freddy's making horseradish to serve you on a platter like a filter fish.